everyone, and welcome to this Video Sans Frontières video. My name is Jay Wakefield, and today I'd like to talk to you about a few things. But first, I'd like to introduce you to this VMware virtual machine. Now, what you're seeing is what looks like a regular Windows 2000 desktop. But if we right click on my computer and go to properties, we actually see, I'm not sure we see really much of anything. I mean, A, the camera light's on, and B, forget it. Try going to the start menu, and then we see Windows 2000 Advanced Server. Now, you might be wondering, why have I set up a virtual machine with Windows 2000 Advanced Server when I could have quite easily set up one with Windows 2000 Professional? Well, the answer to that is this. I've actually undertaken to create a virtual Windows NT domain on this machine, this virtual machine, which is running on my main build, my main computer, and my main computer is hardwired into the network now. And it's connected to a switch which lives down in my retro computer corner. I believe I did show you it in my ThinkPad. Oh my goodness, which video was it? My ThinkPad R51 video. So you might be wondering, what am I doing with an out-of-date domain? Well, quite simple really. I want a way, an easy way to get files from my modern machine to older machines that I have, which I can connect them to the network using a Pcmcia network adapter. So I'll kind of just show you how it works. Obviously, if it's, because I've logged in, it's actually fired my NT logon scripts, which basically means I'm accessing shared resources locally on the machine. It's quite a funny arrangement. But what I've done is I've created myself a user account on the domain, given myself an NT logon script to make sure these drives are mapped, which is nice. And on these drives, I've got my own kind of thing here. I was making an old cassette case in Publisher 95 on the Compaq Armada 1590 DT. All right, it's getting a bit upset now. Yeah, I saved it to the network. I also have screenshots. Oh wait, that's not a screenshot. That was something else I was working on. Here's the screenshots. So, as you can see, I'm able to kind of move screenshots very easily, across the network. And, what's more, if I go to programs, I've got programs and drivers and all sorts. So, and the good thing about VMware, with the virtual machine additions installed, all I have to do is, if I want to actually, if I want to download something, all I have to do is, go just kind of copy a file over, and then all I have to do is kind of paste it in to the virtual machine. There we go. And that will be available on any machine which is connected to my network. Now, this network is only for Windows 95, 98 NT, and if it'll work, 3.1 and maybe Windows 2000 machines. In fact, this virtual machine actually does have a Pixie Boot install routine for Windows 2000 Professional. So what kind of computer would I want to connect to this network? Well, maybe I'd want to connect something like this. Now this is something else I'd like to talk to you about. This is the meat of the video, if you will. And it's really This computer has been a really very positive buying experience on eBay. I'd like to kind of tell you all about that now. So, I was actually kind of looking on eBay, as I do, you know, and one of my weaknesses is these older grey Toshibas. I must admit, I think the computers are full of character. Especially these really thick ones. I mean, look. How much more characterful can you get? Seriously. But, what's more is, I mean, this machine was sold... This machine was, it was sold as spares repairs. It was basically photographed like this. Open, not powered up. And I thought, well, you know what? I'd like something like this. But I'm not sure I want to pay £18 for it. You know, it might not work, might not have a hard disk caddy. It had no hard disk. But I thought I might, you know, be able to wangle something out of it. So I lowballed the seller. Now, I'll admit that my first offer was pretty damn offensive, seriously. But he actually came back to me with an offer of £15, which was better, was going in the right direction. But I still didn't want to pay £15. So I sent him another offer. I sent and I attached a wee message to it explaining that while I really quite fancied the machine, because it was not known to be working, I didn't really feel that I could gamble that much on it. Now, £15 isn't a lot of money for a computer, some people might say, but, you know, other people can, you know, basically kind of, you know, other people can basically kind of pick these up off the side of the road or in a skip or, you know, from a yard sale, you know, kind of like £3 or something, or, you know, car boot sale, you know, someone might kind of let it go for 50p along with, you know, along with a couple of framed photos and a couple of Roy Orbison LPs. So, you know, I lowballed him again, £12. Wee bit more sensible than my original offer of £7, but he accepted. Or they accepted. I don't know if it was a he or a she, so I should probably just say they. And I thought, well, this is brilliant. So, you know, with postage, the machine came to about near as damn at £20. And almost immediately after I paid for it, certainly within the first half an hour, I got a notification that a shipping label had been created and had been given a tracking number. Now, in America, you might think, well, you know, what's so special about that? But in the UK, tracking numbers aren't necessarily given. You know, they're just, it's not a done thing. You know, which is a bit of a shame. It's kind of more, you know, in America, you know, I'll get something like, you know, as a wee gift for, you know, some of my friends in America, you know, and they'll be like, oh, Jay, do you have a tracking number? And I'll be like, I never thought to look. Because that's, you know, it's not the norm in the UK, you know, where it is the norm in the US. In the US, if they don't give you a tracking number, it's kind of suspicious. Whereas in the UK, if they do give you a tracking number, it's kind of the same rarity, you know what I mean? It's kind of reverse. But it's not suspicious, obviously. It's a nice thing if they give you a tracking number. Therefore, you can actually keep track of something. So, I mean, eBay sellers' attitude in the UK is, you know, quite often they will get a tracking number for something, but they will not give you it until you've got a problem with the sale. Or it's not arrived or what have you. Bit of a strange setup, and I really don't like it. But anyway, I got the tracking number for this machine, and I took delivery of it this afternoon. Came via UPS, and and it's in fantastic condition. I mean, sure enough, it was a wee bit, it was a wee bit kind of dirty, but then again, what do you expect? The machine is 19 years old. It's it's very old. So, nothing that a wet wipe couldn't sort. Wet wipe is a horrible thing to want to do to somebody's wireless network, I think. But I flipped the machine over and I heard a rattling. I was thinking, that's not good. But I opened, I took off a couple of the compartments. The first one revealed to me the battery. The second one revealed to me the hard drive. Now this is where it really gets good. You'll never guess. The hard disk had been taken out of the machine, but the caddy and all the screws had been left in. So all the different bits of the caddy were there. Now that is what I call brilliant. Because there's a lot of times when people have taken the hard drives out of these older machines, taken the caddies with them, and even in some cases been like, oh well, you can quite easily get a caddy, And it's actually been the case where I've not been able to get a caddy, and as a result have had to actually throw these perfectly working laptops out. I had a Toshiba Tecra 500CDT a couple of years ago now, and I had to throw it out. It was working, but there was just no way that I was going to get a caddy. And that really saddened me. So, I appreciate people wanting to get rid of hard disk drives, because they want to protect their data. But please, 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 I keep saying this time and again, include the hard disk caddies. It doesn't take much to dismantle a hard disk from a caddy. You've just basically got to remove a couple screws, and a lot of these older machines still have service manuals online. That's how I was able to actually fit a hard disk into the caddy. I have a 6 gig disk drive, a 6.4 gig drive, which I've actually installed in the caddy. And I've put it in the machine, and it appears to work. So I've made this machine usable. And that was another thing, The machine didn't have to work, and the seller would have been basically within, still within the terms of the auction. But the machine does work. It works rather well. And I really, really appreciate that. So, the computer itself, now that we've talked about how awesome the eBay seller was, for including not only a tracking number, but also a hard disk caddy. That really is the sweetest plum, by the way. So thank you very much for that. And everyone else, please learn. So, what of this machine? This is a Toshiba Tecra 500CDT. Now, the Tecra line of Toshibas still exists today. And they are the business line of Toshibas. They are to Toshiba what TravelMate is to Acer, what Latitude is to Dell, what ThinkPad is to Lenovo, and what EliteBook is to HP. The Satellite Pro is kind of like their... the Satellite Pro is kind of like the Vostro series is to Dell, so to speak. And then the Satellite is basically the consumer line. Kind of like the Inspirons, the Pavilions, the Aspires. That sort of thing. Anyway, this is a 500CDT, which basically means it's got a CD drive and an active matrix display. Which again, a lot of these machines were sold with passive matrix displays. So why don't we have a wee look at it? And then I will put you on the tripod, and then we'll get down to some business. I promise I'll put you on the tripod. So, usual kind of tour. On the left side, we have a hardware-controlled volume knob, a fan, which is quite noisy, power button, and this one is quite interesting. What this is it's a lever to remove the drive module in the select bay. Watch this. So, if I want to liberate the CD-ROM drive from this machine, all I do is flick this switch over to the right until it completely clicks. I said until it completely clicks. There we go. Then what I do, I push this in to release it, and then this becomes a lever, which I push that away, and there you have it. The CD-ROM drive has ejected itself. Now I could replace that either with a floppy drive or with a secondary hard disk drive. Don't think there's batteries available for that, but in fact there isn't. I've actually read the manual to this machine because I wanted to know how to use this wee doohickey here. So to put it back in, all I need to do is just kind of slide the drive in until it kind of clicks. I don't want to damage the machine, so I'm being a wee bit too cautious here. There we go. And then what I do is take this latch, kind of flick it back over to the left. Oh yeah, and this is a Pcmcia socket. This is a Pcmcia socket. So unfortunately, I think some catch must have gone because that should kind of fasten up. Anyway, this machine, with this latch, what I do then is just kind of push it back in, and that's it. The drive is secured. Right. Now, we also have a reset button, and then here we have a pull to reveal thing for the floppy drive connector. So you've got the floppy drive, and I forget what it's called, but this wee chassis, and this is the one that I originally got with my what was it, the T4, the 430CDT satellite. You know, it connects to here. Now this chassis can only be used with the floppy drive. It can't actually be used with the CD drive or with an external hard drive. You actually have to put those into the select bay. Like I said, you've got PC card sockets, PC card slots, 2 Type 2 or 1 Type 3. I believe they're card bus compatible, not entirely sure. On the front you have the select bay, in this case a CD-ROM drive. Indicator LEDs, so you've got mains power, laptop power, select bay, disk drive, hard disk activity rather, and battery. And then there's an infrared port. Right, and then on the other side we have a blanking plate which would go to a which would actually be a 56K modem if one was installed in here. We have a battery latch, I think. Well, something like that. Yeah. Yeah, battery can be unlatched. Then we've got the hard disk release latch, a vent. And then on the back of the machine, we've got another vent. This machine has an internal power supply, so it just uses a figure of 8 connector to connect it. So any kind of boombox adapter will do. Then we have a VGA out serial, and then underneath we have the docking connector. We have a PS2 mouse and keyboard port, infrared, parallel, and then on here we have microphone, headphones, line in and line out, would you believe? So this machine is very well kitted out. You could definitely tell it was, you could definitely tell, you know, of its, you know, pretensions, its raison d'etre. Anyway, I'm going to use a tripod now. I'm going to actually mount you all on the tripod, and I'm going to kill the camera light. I can't help feeling that this is actually starting to look more like one of my earlier videos. Right. Okay, so we're all set up. The machine is plugged in, and here's a look at the machine, the internals. Kind of just looks like any other Toshiba really from the time period. You know, you've got your acupoint, you've got your keyboard, and I don't know, but the keys kind of feel a bit, I don't know, sticky on these. It's really difficult to describe the feel of them. I don't know, I kind of feel that one could get strained typing on it too long. It certainly doesn't feel as nice as the Compaq Armada 7750 series, 7700 series. Just doesn't. Anyway, what I'm just gonna drop this CF card into the adapter because I'll need it. Right, and now what we're gonna do is we are going to connect the floppy disk drive. What I have done is, because I had the hard drive in another machine, I actually need to reformat it and reinstall Windows. So I'm just going to connect the floppy drive to the machine because it does not support CD-ROM booting. There we go. And then we've got the ultimate yellow boot disk. Right. Everything's ready to go, just about. So now I've applied power to the machine, and there's lights on it. One to show that the battery is attempting to charge, I think. And the other one to show that the machine has power. Now, time to press the power button on the side, and we get another light to indicate the machine is switched on. I'm just gonna kind of jiggle this around a wee bit. Right, excellent. So you might be wondering as to the specs of this machine. Well, I could tell you that. So I will. This machine has a 160... Hang on, no it doesn't. What on earth am I even talking about? Right, shall we try that again? Okay, this machine has, I do believe, a 120 megahertz Pentium processor. This machine has got 48 megs of RAM in it. I'm wondering if it came originally with 16 or 32 megs. It originally came with a 1.3 gigabyte hard drive in it, but I never got that, so I threw in a 6 gig. It has a CD-ROM. I think it's an SVGA TFT display powered by a Chips and Technology graphics chip. And it's got crystal audio and absolutely no modem at all. Right. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and install Windows 95. So I'm just going to F-disk the drive. Yes, I want to enable large hard disk support. Oh yeah, and to sweeten the deal, not that I think this version of Windows 95 is going to work, but certainly to sweeten the deal, I opened the CD-ROM drive to find this, a Windows 95 install CD. These are always appreciated. I'll find a safe place for that to live. Yes, I want to use all of the space. Now if I wanted to, and I don't know if I will or not, but if I wanted to, I could actually make this system a dual boot with Windows 3.1 and Windows 95. Like I said, I really don't know if I'm going to be doing that. But, you know, if I do decide to do that, well, so be it. Now, I will say, one of the things about this machine, one of the few cruxes, and this seems to blight the Windows 95 era grey Toshibas, is while it has panel stretching for text mode displays, that doesn't actually apply for graphical displays. So, you know, if you're wanting to play something, if you're wanting to play a game, a DOS game or something like that, it's going to run in a tiny wee box in the middle of the screen. So maybe not the best for DOS games, but certainly for Windows games that don't use graphics as much. You know, something like SimCity or SimTower or SimSim or SimMaxis. You know, a Maxis simulation. No, I'm kidding on. Anything like that, you'd be perfect for. Would be perfect on this machine. But I still like them. Damn it! I can't fully explain why, but I do. I think they're brilliant. Love these grey Toshibas. Right. Okay. So what I'm going to do now, format C:/S. Okay, I'll be out in a minute. Actually, no, I won't. Because you're a hooligan who likes to use his horn. Now, because this is a hard disk and not solid state storage, this is going to take some time. So I think it's time for a lovely, hot, wee cup of tea. Okay, the hard disk is formatted. I have a nice, fresh cup of tea. Which I probably shouldn't rest on the laptop, otherwise it will become a lot less grey. Anyway, time to name the hard disk. So usual routine for me to get Windows 95 installed. I usually like to copy the contents of the d:/win95 directory. Probably would be an idea if I had a Windows 95 OSR2 CD more to hand than I do. It's basically now just a case of throwing the disk in the CD-ROM drive, and then it's just a case of copy, check it reads, it does, copy d:/win95 *****. And then we just kind of wait for all the files to copy. Okay, that's that done. Now it's a case of removing the floppy disk and restarting the computer. Once I remember which is Control, which is Alt, and which is Delete, that is. I like how the numeric. I think it's a numeric light. No, it's the cursor keys light comes on when you hold down FN on these Toshibas. Right. Okay. So basically now it's a case of cd windows / options / cabs. Now for UK users, we've booted up into a very kind of basic version of the command.com shell. So because the keyboard has not been set up to the UK keyboard layout, the / key, the hash key suddenly becomes the / key. Oh yeah, and because this is an earlier Toshiba, the keyboard layout is very odd, as you can see. On a UK keyboard layout, you have the vertical enter key, and this key should be there, but isn't. It's there instead. So it kind of makes it look a bit more like the American keyboard layout. The / key is there, but it is a UK keyboard layout because it has the pound symbol. And for some reason it's not letting me do autofocus. Thanks. Anyway, because we have no high memory system driver installed either, I am going to type setup /is. And that will stop it from running ScanDisk, which would not run. The Windows 95 setup version of ScanDisk would not run without a high memory system manager installed. High memory manager. Whatever it's called. Right, welcome to Windows 95 setup. Thank you very much. Keep the floppy drive plugged in. I know how upset Windows 9X can become if no floppy drive is detected. Excellent. So now it's a case of install to another directory, not Windows.000. Let's just check it's... Yep. There are things in the C Windows directory. I know that because I put them there. Now it's just kind of preparing the system, the Windows directory and what have you, and checking things over. I want to do a custom install. I'll put the products key in. Put my name. Let's analyze the computer. Let's look for CD-ROM drive and a sound card. Network adapter we'll worry about later, because I'm going to install that separately, once I've got system drivers installed on here. So once again, this is going to analyze the computer, and you'll notice that this screen has not been panel fitted. That's because, like I said earlier, these grey Windows 95 era Toshibas do not support graphics mode panel stretch. Probably a good thing because, it's the older screens do tend to become distorted, which is a wee bit of a shame. So this can take some time. It's not taking too long on here, but it can take some time. So, my advice is be patient with it. Go and grab yourself an OT biscuit or something, because this can take a wee bit of time. Because the computer's sat there going, what kind of hardware's in here? Or maybe I think there's a display. And I think there could be a hard drive, and I think there could be a CD drive. There's also a north bridge, which will take me up to Caithness, and maybe there's a south bridge that'll take me down to Fife. Oopsie. Yeah, I probably don't need all this stuff, but... who cares? Got 6 gigs of hard disk space hard disk space to play with. Right. One thing I am going to do is curse and scream and shit because I can't even find the mouse pointer. Also install TCP IP. And I'm not going to install any of this stuff. Actually, I probably should. Maybe I should install NetBUI. Could be useful for if I need to access the network in DOS. Toshiba Tecra 500CDT. I don't know how much of that name will fit, but hey ho. I want to set the keyboard layout to British. Windows 95. I'll probably set that once I know what kind of monitor it is. I think it's an SVGA. You know what, I might just kind of set it. Right. Okay, everything else is set up the way I want it. I don't wish to create a boot disk. So now we're actually installing Windows 95. So now this will take some time, so I will leave you and I will come back once it has finished. Okay, so this part of setup is finished, so I will click finish and the machine will restart and we'll go into Windows 95 for the first time. Oh, this will be awful exciting, won't it? Please wait while setup updates your configuration files. This may take a few minutes. Oh, okay. Okay, so here's the logon screen. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to type my name in here, but then not confirm the... Oh wait, no, I'll have to, won't I? Oh well. Not confirm the password. So, now it is setting up hardware. It'll, well, unfortunately, it won't ask me anything about the Pcmcia cards, because Windows 95 has this nasty habit of disabling them, and then I've got to enable them by default, and I've got to power the computer down, and then I've got to start it back up again, and yeah, Windows 98 takes care of all this in a better way. So now this is just a case of kind of waiting it out. There we go. Control panel. Programs on the start menu. Windows help. Right. Okay, so I'm guessing I will need to probably set the time here, actually, because it's, I'm guessing the CMOS battery is completely deaded. Not too bad, actually. It's not 1980. It says it's the 28th of October 2004. Nice. Except it's not that, is it? It's, it is June the 15th, 2015. And the time is, whoops-a-daisy, it's 19:43. I'm going to apply that. Wonder how long this machine will keep time for. And it's going to ask me if I want to configure Microsoft Exchange. How about no? No to configuring a printer at this time. And now what will happen is I will go into Windows 95 for the first time. But the drivers for this machine, I've actually copied them over to this, a 4GB CF card. And to be able to read this card on that laptop, I need to use this, a Pcmcia CF card reader. Now, in order for me to be able to actually use this Pcmcia card reader, I will have to enable and set up the Pcmcia slots. So, find the monitor. Right. I'm actually finished at the moment now with the Windows 95 CD. So I will just kind of put it to one side here. Right. Now, to enable the Pcmcia slots, right click on my computer, go down to Properties, Device Manager. Yeah, that... Oh. That's not good. For some reason the woman's IRDA port's disabled as well. And I probably shouldn't have had it detect a sound card. I do believe, actually, thinking about it, that I did have problems with the libretto when I still had it, by having set up look for a sound card. Okay, so now I've powered up the computer once again. So now it's just a case of waiting for Windows to start up, and then once it does, I will insert the Pcmcia card, CF card reader. Excellent. And it's kind of found it as a standard ESDI or IDE adapter controller thing first things first, I want the alt point, alternative mouse pointers for Windows 95 and NT4. Which, unbeknownst to Billy Core, these pointers are actually included with Windows 98. If you install them, you find them under the accessories, whatchamacallit. Yeah, under accessories. Now, I'm gonna, before I do anything, if it will support it, I'm going to change the pointer to extra large black, and yes it does. Right, whoops-a-daisy. So now what I want to do is great stuff. Self-extracting. Damn this self-extracting diddly. And where's me copy of WinRAR? Well, I think I'm actually going to go ahead and install WinRAR because it'll be a heck of a lot tidier, but bleh, the extraction will be much tidier. Compaq Armada 1750 drivers and apps. Okay, this some of these apps are not period correct for this machine, but there's only one that I really need. I'm gonna hope it's on this CD. There we go, and there it is in the root directory. What I needed, WinRAR. So I'm using WinRAR version 3.80 here, which is the last version to work with any version of Windows 9X, and believe it or not, it came out in May 2008. So now what I can do is just literally right click on this file and extract the content to a folder. Would you look at that? I'm not sure which one goes to this machine, so I'm gonna go for number 2, I think. Looking at other locations, 4 gig card, Tecra, display drivers 2, and it's found it. And then once again I actually need to select the directory in which it's installed. Oops. Okay. That's the one. So now the machine will restart and hopefully install the correct display drivers. There goes the Pcmcia card. Right. Excellent. Now what we want to do is we actually want to set the resolution and color depth. And there we go. Windows 95 is now full screen. So the plan now is to attempt to install the sound, as well as CD-ROM driver. I wonder if this is for a Pcmcia CD-ROM drive. Toshiba Magic CD disk. Oh, apparently, yeah, that's high quality. Oh well. Display drivers 1, display drivers 2. Whoopsie, didn't want to make the window that small. Sound drivers. Right, now this is going to be quite an ordeal. I'm just going to click install driver and see what happens. Once Windows 95 has installed the wrong sound driver using the Found New Hardware Wizard, it takes a lot to convince it to install the correct one. Especially if the wrong one came with Windows 95. Thanks, Obama. Okay, so now we're actually away installing the sound driver. It's building the driver information database. I love when it does that. Sound. Right, it's not found the driver for that, but hopefully it'll be on the CF card. Well, that's a good sign. It's actually found it now, so excellent. So now it's a way to install the all the things that it needs to run the sound. Right. Didn't really hear much, so I guess the best thing to do is actually well, have a look in the device manager, see if anything else is kind of holding it up. Ugh. Causing a device conflict. Right, that seems to be fine now. Now that I've got rid of the Microsoft Windows sound system. Let's see. Oops. There we go. We have sound. Now let's install now let's install the Toshiba Utilities. Inside joke there from Billy, Luke and I. Why is it not letting me right click on my utilities? Why has it decided to quick view my utilities? Oh, I've got to put it on a dang diskette. Right, well, I'll get that done, and then we'll install my utilities. Okay, so I've extracted the diskette image onto a disk for the Toshiba Utilities. Now let's actually install them. So this actually comes with the utilities that, kind of make the machine easier to use and what have you. Just makes the whole experience a lot more complete. Please excuse me. So here are the Toshiba Utilities. First of all, we have hardware setup, which I think we'll actually need to restart before we can actually use these. So I'll actually get that sorted. Good news! I've actually managed to install Pcmcia, or whatever it's called. I had a look at the setup routine and realised, well, first of all, I copied it to the C drive, and second of all, I actually renamed the folder that it was all in as, whoops, left a floppy disk in the drive there, well done. I actually renamed the folder that the setup files were in, disk 1. So hopefully, well, that actually made it work. There we go, Toshiba CD-ROM driver licensed. Methinks that might have been for Windows 3.1. If so, why was it included with Windows 95? To complete the Windows Utilities installation, you must reboot your computer. One more time during Windows 95 start. One more time using the Windows 95 start shutdown menu item. Oh, okay. So it wants me to restart yet again. I still need to install the Acupoint driver as well. Whoopsie. Jings, it sure likes being restarted, does this machine? Okay, so now it's time to make this machine network ready. So what we have here is a 3Com megahertz 574B Ethernet card. This is 10100, and I've plugged the dongle into it. We also have an RJ45 Ethernet cable, which I'm going to plug into it. So there we go. The drivers for this card are on the CF card, which is inserted into the other Pcmcia slot. So, excellent. Now, what we want to do is we actually want to plug this card into the other Pcmcia slot, and it's detected it. So what I need to do now is install the drivers. Insert the Windows 95 CD-ROM, which should be C Windows Options Cabs. That wasn't supposed to happen. There we go. And now it's installing its own networking utilities. Now, to set this up for use on my domain, there's another step that I will need to take. Alright, that's the network card detected. Right, that's brilliant. So, to be able to set this up to log into my NT domain, what I have to do is right click on Network Neighborhood, select Properties, and then go to Access Control, and then, no wait, no I don't, I believe that's the one. I go to Client for Microsoft Networks, select Properties, and then here there is log on to Windows NT domain. When you log on, your password will be verified on a Windows NT domain. That's what I want. And the name of the domain is Wakefield. Gonna click OK. Click OK again. Windows will make some adjustments. It'll build the driver information database for some reason. And then we'll restart the computer. So what will happen now is I will actually get a logon screen, and I will be able to use that to log on to my domain. And this kind of brings back memories of being at school, because we had Windows NT domain at school. It was actually an NT4 domain, and the machines were running either Windows 95 or Windows 98. Okay, so the network card is active. Excellent. All I need to do now is type my password into the domain. And it's fired a Windows NT logon script. And as you can probably see there, we now have the shared volumes. Well, this will conclude this video. I hope you've all enjoyed watching. If you have, please feel free to subscribe to my channel, like videos on Frontier on Facebook, and while you're at it, please feel free to follow me on Twitter. Like I said, I hope you've all enjoyed my video, and I hope you'll all join me for my next one. Hopefully in my next video I'll be giving this wee thing a hands-on. I really like this Toshiba Tecra, and I'm glad I actually took the risk and bought it. And once again, I would like to thank the seller for being absolutely fantastic, for giving me a tracking number for the machine, and more importantly, for including the hard disk caddy. Very much appreciated. And, you know, I mean, these are the sorts of things that I do remember. So, highly recommended, and I will be doing business once again. Please join me for my next video.